Thank you, Madam President. I want to bring about this resolution because 200 years ago, history was made here in the United States of America. It was in February of 2018 that Frederick Douglass was born, who was such a pivotal person in the history of the United States. I also want to say a special thank you, Madam President, to you and to your constituent, Jessica Ann Tyson, who provided much of the material for the resolution that we have. Now, I want to give some highlights about Frederick Douglass. Many of us know him because he was born a slave, and in 1838, he escaped. But moreover, he accomplished a lot throughout his career, especially considering the time in which he lived, in which he did not have the rights that you and I have today. In 1847, he co-founded an anti-slavery newspaper, the North Star. 1845, he wrote his first book, which was an autobiography, The Narrative of the Life of Frederick Douglass, an American Slave. And I would think that that autobiography did a lot to dispel the notion that African Americans were not equal members of our society. To be able to have somebody who came from such a horrendous background, to be able to write such a work of intellect, to be able to share his story and his thoughts with the American people. He, in 1864, served as an advisor to President Abraham Lincoln during the Civil War. 1874, Frederick Douglass was appointed president of the Freedmen's Savings and Trust Company, a bank that was chartered by Congress to safeguard the savings of African American Civil War veterans and former slaves. In 1877, President Rutherford B. Hayes appointed Mr. Douglass as the United States Marshal for the District of Columbia, becoming the first African American to receive United States Senate confirmation for a presidential appointment. In 1889, Mr. President Benjamin Harrison appointed Douglass as a minister to Haiti. There are 3 different presidents that relied on Frederick Douglass. So I would encourage all of my colleagues here to co-sponsor this resolution as we celebrate 200 years of a man who was ahead of his time and who did so much to ensure freedom, not just for slaves, but also for women and for all people that he came in contact with. So I thank you, Madam President, for working with me on this resolution and to your constituent, and request my remarks be printed in the Journal.
Thank you, Senator O'Brien. Your remarks will be printed in the Journal.